Hello, girlies. Okay, so fun fact, I took a shower and I did myself a little eyebrow slit because way back when I first came out, I got sapphic tattoos. Like, I got this one, I got this one, I got, those were my main sapphic. I mean, some people think this is a sapphic tattoo, the 444. Okay, basically I came out and these two were like the ones, right? But I was like, no, like I kind of want an eyebrow slit. And a lot of people at that time were debating if they wanted to do an eyebrow slit. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna debate. I'm gonna like make a TikTok because there's like, I don't know if it was like I had like done one with makeup or if I did like a simulator, like a filter of one. And I remember, oh, I don't need this anymore. I remember actually like asking TikTok about it, and then somebody had the nerve to comment on it and call me an Avery Cyrus dupe. And I was like, first of all, how do I even look like her? And she was like, no offense, but like you're definitely like an Avery dupe. And, well, she didn't say it like that. She was like, no offense, ... Avery dupe. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, how? Like, cause I have like blue in my hair. Like, I didn't really follow Avery like that. This was the time of when like AB and like Soph were talking. And I knew who Avery was, but I had no idea that I like even like resembled her. I'm like, this girl is like tan, she's like a Hey Mamas, like she was just like completely different from me. I was like, I'm literally a femme. I'm just like trying to be more gay, and I don't know if me trying to be more gay just happened to come off as like masculine or what, but I was like, nah, like this is not, like, I'm not trying to look like Avery. Like, I just felt so weird at that point. Because I was like, I'm not trying to look like her. So, like, if I do, I need to change that. And I ended up re-dyeing my hair, like a new rainbow style. I forgot to get alcohol prep pads. But anyway, I felt almost, like, offended. Because I was like, I'm not trying to look like Avery or anything like that. Like, I just want to be me. So it was definitely a moment because I was like, is it this one person that thinks I look like Avery, or is it everyone? And it ended up being like just that one person, because I was like, no offense, but I definitely don't look like her. But then I was low-key like, if I did look like her, could you imagine like if Soph were to like come across my page and like be like, oh, she's cute. But anyway, I was so delulu at that time. Like, I kid you not, so delulu. Because, don't get me wrong, I think Soph is attractive. However, Soph is 2 years younger than me. And there's not technically anything wrong with that age gap. I guess it's just in my like perfect world, I would be dating someone older than me, and I am. Like, I'm dating someone who's 31, and that's even a bigger age gap. Ironically, it's kind of funny. But like 4 years is not a bad age gap when I'm 27 and she's 31. Like, maybe if we were younger, I'd be like, no, that's kind of gross, because I graduated high school when she graduated college. But like, in our phases of our lives, with us being like adults, 4 years really ain't shit. You know, neither of us are a minor. Both of us are well into our adulthood. There's obviously some differences that you can tell, you know, that I am younger. But overall, like, and that's kind of how I feel about Soph. Like, I joke about, like, oh, like, dating another diabetic. But, like, Soph specifically, like, I just feel like she's mature, right? But I also just feel like we're on different, like, levels. Like, I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say I'm more mature than her because I think we both have a similar maturity level. I guess it's just like because I'm 2 years older. I don't know where I was going with this. I'm like not trying to hate on her, but I feel like that's how it's coming out to be, is like hate. And that's like not what I wanted at all because I adore Soph. I just think that there's no way in hell we would ever be a pairing because it's just not, like, we're not in the same circles, we're not in the same anything. So I don't even know how I even came about that. But anyway, yeah, I don't know why I ever thought, like, you know, me being an Avery dupe would, like, lead me to Soph. That was just, like, so weird of me. And, like, partially Delulu. Like, let's be real. Not partially, fully Delulu. But I have, like, the utmost respect for Soph. If anything, she's just a comfort creator to me because, like, I don't have any diabetic friends. And don't get me wrong, I would love to have diabetic friends, but I just don't because I don't know anybody here in San Antonio. And I'm learning, you know, to be who I am, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, this site change is kind of a disaster because why am I talking about this stuff? I might be slightly to fully embarrassing myself, but that's okay. I just wanted to, like, talk about that because I do remember me, like, thinking about that, and I was just, like, I thought about that moment of when I, like, I don't know, I just was so Delulu back then. Anyway, I'm doing a Beta Bionics site change, and I'm almost done, and I feel like I want to talk to you guys about Beta Bionics now that I got over the silly, like, things that happened, because I decided to do an eyebrow slit and somehow looked like Soph Mosca's ex, in said TikTok that is now way deleted because I was so offended. I was like, how do I look like Avery? Like, I was so offended and so... I was offended, but not at the same time, because I was like, how could I look like her? Because at the time, like, everyone hated her because of, like, she was, like, dating JoJo, and, like, everyone was like, oh my god, Avery, I can't believe you would do this. So, like, I was, like, offended, but, like, Avery's not bad looking. I'm so silly. That was, like, a rant of, like, nothing. I'm so sorry, guys. I just, like, zoomed through that and, like, told you guys a story about gay TikTok and lesbian TikTok instead of, like, showing you guys my pump. Anyway, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I have 153 units available. You guys want to, like, walk through my pump? Like, why not? I'm bored and I have no internet because the internet is still out. For those that ever watch my few days vlog, if I posted it already, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably post that one first. But I have no internet, so, like, I can't really do much. I can use the 5G on my phone, but your phone gets boring after a while, you know? So, anyway, I'm going to show you the Beta Bionics iLet in the time of me doing nothing. So, we're going to wake her up, and we're actually going to press and hold her just to make her a little brighter so you can see. So, I'm going to go ahead and unlock. Bam. So this is like the main home screen. So I'm going to go ahead and press this button. That's the button I want to press if I want a dose. And then you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And each meal, you can press more carbs, less carbs, or usual for me. So, like, let's say my meal is 60 carbs. If I eat 60 carbs, I'm going to do usual. If I'm eating 75, I'm going to put more. If I'm eating 40, I'm going to put less. If I'm eating like less than 15, I'm not going to dose. So that's kind of how it works. This guy right here in the middle is my Dexcom. You can see my numbers. Highs and lows, but again, I've yet to go over 400 and I've yet to go below, I want to say 40. I think I've been in my 40s, but in this, I've yet to go below like 65, 70. It's definitely straightened out. I'm 150 and steady right now. That's like an ideal number, for me anyway. Up here's my insulin, so you can see that I have 153 units available. It goes up to 180, and I am terrible at filling my insulin pump, so I'm always going to have like 150 units, and it's always going to last me like 2 days, which is fine. It's better for me to change up my sites, because sometimes I make my sites when I had the Tandem last 3 to 4 days because I had so much insulin in them. And that's just not good to have like the site in there that long. So this is where you can also change your cartridge and tubing. You fill your tubing only. So let's say like you F up, and you have to change. You can just fill the cannula. You can change just your, you can change like one thing or like everything, which I think is nice personally. Just because, like, you don't always change them all at once, but, like, that's what you strive to do. Over here is your little notification bell. I have no notifications right now because I just changed my pump. I'm great. My sugar is great. Everything is just, mwah, chef's kiss. So, no notifications. Over here is your menu, and you've got different options. If I want to calibrate or put in a manual sugar, this is where I would do it. I can do a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 600, which my glucometer definitely does not read between those. But it's great. Like, if you're in the hospital, you can put that your sugar is 600. But, I mean, if you're in the hospital, you're probably off pump therapy and getting an insulin drip. Let's be real. Anyway, Dexcom, this is where you can replace or stop your sensor. You can customize your alerts. You can click your CGM info to see how many days you have left, when it started, when it expired, the pairing code, your last calibration, and the, is that the security number, SN? I think that's what that stands for. Serial number. Oh my God, security number. You know what? I tried. I clearly did not have enough coffee. So that's your Dexcom G7 CGM. It also works with the G6. I just so happen to have the oh my God, it's not even on this arm. I just so happen to have the G7. There she is next to my naked lady. Let's move on. The next one is the phone. So you click the phone and it shows that it's not currently paired to a mobile device. And it says to pair with a new device, use the iLet mobile app, which is interesting to me because it should be paired to my phone. But I think because the internet is down, it's working funky. Let me try something. So I'm going on my app right now, my iLet app. Okay, and it last was synced 2 days ago. So let me go ahead and sync it. Okay, there we go. Currently paired with Marissa's iPhone. And then to pair another device, use the iLet mobile app. I'm not going to pair my device because I don't need to. So that's perfect. That's what it should look like. So if you ever need to check if your phone is paired, you do that. Make sure you're syncing your data. The data goes straight to the Beta Bionics people that trained me and are like monitoring me on it. And then they also send that info to my endocrinologist. Next one, I'm gonna go like this in kind of like a loop because that one has the most. This is the sounds. So here's high, medium, low, off. I'm gonna keep her on high just because I want to make sure that I can hear it, because high can sound very low if you're in the middle of doing stuff. here is your activity. So your history, if you will. So any alarms that went off, it shows you, and it shows you when. A lot of them you can tell are urgent low glucoses, urgent low soon, glucose falling quickly. And then a couple other of them are insulin low, change insulin. So pretty standard alarms that you would want going off on your pump. The next one is meals. So you see all of your meal dosages. I'm assuming for the last 24 hours because that's what it looks like it's showing me. So any meals for the last 24 hours. So I had lunch, breakfast, and then I had 2 dinners yesterday because I had a dinner at 6 and I had eaten something, and then my girlfriend came home and she made me something else. So I ate dinner again. That tends to happen sometimes, so it is what it is. Cartridges, it says that the date is when it was installed and how much it took to fill my tubing. Infusion sets, when it was last inserted and how many days remaining until it needs to alert me. Algorithm steps. So it shows you your insulin on board, which I was told is mostly irrelevant because it's not like the Tandem where the insulin on board, how do I put this? It doesn't take that into account. So if my sugar is 150, it's going to be like, okay, you're fine. But if my sugar was like 400, it's going to give me insulin regardless of my insulin on board because it's still trying to learn me and get me down. From my understanding. I'm going to go with that. If that's a lie, I'm so sorry, but that's pretty much what I remember being told. And then here, the algorithm steps, it just shows me like, okay, 5:28 p.m., my CGM reading was 150 and it gave me 0.05 units. And then it says required insulin 0.03. So then you can kind of just see like everything that my pump has been doing. Every time it's given me little corrections. Every time it's read my sugar. And it's kind of nice because it shows me that it's actively trying to learn everything. Insulin history is kind of similar to the algorithm, but it shows you your total daily basal. So mine is 26.4 units, which is pretty accurate because when I was on shots, I did about 32 units of the Tresiba, which if you know, it's not like Lantus where it is 24 hours. The lifespan of Tresiba is a little bit longer. I think it's 36 hours and it builds up and builds down. And also, yeah, I don't know. That's just how it is. I find this interesting because I drink coffee with creamer. Zero sugar creamer, mind you. So here's my insulin. Oh, hold on, it locked. I find this interesting. My usual for me breakfast ends up dosing almost 12 units, 11.9. My lunch usual for me is 9.8 units, and my dinner usual for me is 4.3 units. So basically it's trying to say I eat my majority of the carbs in the morning, and then it slowly withers away through the day. I don't know if that's completely accurate, like all the time, but apparently I get more insulin for breakfast and lunch than I do dinner. Okay, the last but not least icon is your gear icon for settings. We've got about the iLet, so it tells you your serial number, your Bluetooth, algorithm, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much stuff that I really don't know. My battery fuel gauge is a 5. Don't even know what that is. I didn't even know that existed on here, but it's kind of cool. Therapy. So it says CGM target, usual. It says We recommend you consult your healthcare provider before changing your CGM target. So it says higher, usual, and lower. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure I'll learn that eventually. My body weight is 182 pounds, and then my sleep CGM target, it says adjust your CGM target used during sleep. So I think that's pretty cool that you can have a different target, because I'm low at night a lot, so I'm wondering like what that's like, and I'm wondering how accurate that would be for me to like use it, and how it could affect my night sugars, and if it could make it better. Then I'm going to move on to general, where we have the time, the date, and then it says always on display is enabled. I kind of like that it's pretty much always on, just because I'm able to see it. It really doesn't wear out the battery that much, and it's really easy to charge. Like, look, this is the charger, and you just slap her on, even with the case, and then it'll beep, and hold on, you can see at the bottom here, it says charging 96%, and it actually, the battery will move. Like, it'll fill up and continue filling up. I don't know how to make that make sense. Like, it'll fill up in like 2 seconds and then diminish and fill up again, and it'll show that it's like charging. And then it'll just also say 96%. So I think that's pretty cool. One thing I don't really like is you hit the battery, you can't see the percentage unless you're charging it. So that would be one thing that I would want to know about personally. Maybe there is a setting for that and I just don't know about it. I'm going to look into that, but for now it is what it is. So we're in settings, and the last one is other. So there's the shutdown, restart, limited access, and factory reset. And I'm not going to do any of those at all, but I think it's pretty cool. I'm liking the pump so far. It's learning me, and it's learned things that I didn't even realize about myself. Like, for example, the coffee that I drink requires that much more insulin, because honestly, I eat the same, if not less, carbs in the morning. Like, I had a bagel today. That bagel was probably 40 carbs. I ate 40 carbs for lunch. So it kind of goes to show that, like, insulin, even though, like, you're drinking coffee and it's 0 sugar creamer, and I'm not putting any sugar in it, it just, like, it baffles me that, like, I end up needing that much insulin for a total daily dose. But I don't have to think about it. I just click a button and it learns me. And I hope that my habits, stay pretty well. The other thing I was told is never to change your weight on there unless it's like drastic. Because when you change your weight on the iLet, it it starts the process over again almost. The only times that you should be changing it is if you drastically lose weight instead of gradually, which I find interesting. But it's just the setting on a pump, so it's not like it really matters, but it does throw off the algorithm if you change it. So it has to like relearn you all over again, and that's one thing that I'm not gonna do. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this pump, and I have to say, I think it's also cool that I can check updates on my phone, which there's no update available. But I definitely like this pump more than I like the Tandem, which my Tandem's literally sitting back there. There's nothing I can do with it. It literally malfunctioned, so there's no point in me even bothering with it. But I have to say, I'm really, really happy that I went with this pump. I'm really happy that I was close to my deductible, and that my co-insurance kicked in, and that it was affordable, and that I can, like, breathe easy knowing that, like, this might be it, because they also plan to get glucagon, test glucagon, in the pump, which I'm like, yes, because listen, if you get glucagon to work in this device and I don't even have to think about a dang thing, like I can just eat and like let it know that I'm eating, and it just doses, and then if it goes too low, it doses glucagon. Like, are you kidding? So if they get that to work, that's amazing. But it's also funny because I realized that I had eaten, right, and I forgot to alert that I was eating. And I'm pretty sure I ended up going low after I dosed because whatever I ate did not affect my sugar that much. So, and it was funny because I had eaten probably like 40 carbs, so I have no idea. But I just thought that was interesting. I just have to be careful of dosing, pretty much. I mean, I've had diabetes for 15 years, and it's almost like I learn something new every day, and I quite don't understand it. Like, I feel like I know about diabetes, but I feel like there's so much that I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Like, how could I not know? Or like I forget, or my brain is just so fried that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like, I can't explain it, but it's almost like you forget how much goes into this disease and how much you've learned, and you're like, you feel like you know everything, but you just don't. Like, it's so impossible to know everything about diabetes. Like, it is just a guessing game sometimes. But I'm trying my best, and I am fighting against myself every single day, even though I have such burnout. And it's like, I'm so thankful that I have the support system that I do, because I was worried about finding somebody who was going to tolerate my diabetes, because I've had like exes say like, you're never going to find somebody because like they're not going to want to deal with your diabetes. I've had people say like, your diabetes is hard to deal with, like it's exhausting, like I'm taking off of work, blah blah blah. And it's just like, okay, like now I've literally got my girlfriend who works 4 days on, 3 days off, or sorry, opposite, 4 days off, 3 days on, and she's sitting here like making meals, she's checking my sugar before she leaves for work, she's checking my pump to make sure no alarms are going off. She literally this morning, the way that I woke up was, I was like grouchy and annoyed because my pump went off, right? And my girlfriend gets my blood sugars delivered to her phone. She literally used the camera in the living room to call Sadie, our dog, so that Sadie would wake up and that would disturb me. Little did she know I was already awake and disturbed. But she was literally trying to make sure I would wake up so I would eat something, because I was in the 70s and then I dropped to the 60s, and she's like, okay, this is not okay anymore. Like, you need to like take care of this before it gets worse. So I am very, very lucky to have my girlfriend, and I'm very, very lucky to be in the relationship that I'm in, because I know that it is a lot, but she works with me. Like, she doesn't think that, you know, my pump sites, my little markings are unattractive. Like, she doesn't think about that, you know what I mean? And she loves me regardless. She's like, if anything, like, the only unattractive thing about you is your tattoo. This one. Not that it's unattractive, but she's like, it's very vulgar and it's very out there, which is me, you know, like, that's definitely me. Like, I'm out there, but, like, I guess I'm just thankful because, like, I always felt unattractive or less than because of my diabetes. Like, I literally have a device strapped to me. I can't just be a cute little girl walking around in her bikini and, like, showing off. Like, I have pump site tan lines, CGM tan lines. Like, I just don't feel that attractive. So that it's actually nice that, I don't know, like, it's actually nice that, like, I can feel attractive to someone, and that this person also wants to just take care of me and, like, doesn't find it to be a burden, and that she gets when I'm burnt out and, like, why I'm burnt out, because she hears this thing go off just as much as I do. So, like, I'm sure it annoys her, but she doesn't even, like, flinch about it. Like, I literally had a mental breakdown the other day because it was going off, and I was just getting so annoyed. I was like, shut up. Like, I like, could not handle it. It was almost like I was in sensory overload, because, like, I could just feel things too much and hear everything too much, and I needed to be in a dark room with nothing. And I just started crying because I was like, I'm so overwhelmed and burnt out, and it's like one more thing is just gonna make me, like, fall off the edge of a cliff. Like, I was just, like, at that point where I was just like, it needs to stop. And she was like, you know what? Like, let's just go charge your pump, put it in a room where you don't even bother. I literally put THC salts in my bath, and I took a hot bath, and she sat there with me, and I turned off the light because I just needed darkness and silence, and she had given that to me, but I also, like, couldn't handle that she was in the room and it was silent, so, like, we started to have a conversation, and it just, things like that mean so much to me, because it's like she can give me what I need when I need it, and sometimes I don't even know what I need, but she'll give it to me, even if I don't know that I need it. So it's just nice because, again, like, I never thought I would find somebody who would deal with my diabetes, who would be okay. And it's almost like she's just happy to be there and happy to help. And again, it just means so much to me because, like, I know that she's a nurse, and I know that, I mean, she's an OR nurse, so she's not exactly dealing with diabetics all day, but it's just nice because she cares. And that's, like, the bare minimum, right? But, like, it really isn't in this day and age. I feel like dating in this day and age, it's, like, exhausting to find somebody who cares. So to have someone who genuinely cares and is there for you, like, please don't embarrass me, motherfucker. Like, that's the point I'm at. Like, I'm so thankful for her, but I'm also, like, talking so, like, highly of her that I'm like, if she embarrasses me, like, I'm gonna come back to this video and be like, facepalm. No, but seriously, like, I'm very genuinely happy overall in my life. Obviously there's some things that I would change, but slowly and surely I am building myself to be the version that I want to be, which is a healthy, happy human being. And this insulin pump has helped me overcome certain aspects of burnout. My girlfriend has helped me learn how to love and be loved and accept love. And I think with each day, I learn something new on how to be just a good, genuine human being. I think that once I kind of reach the point of, like, I feel happy and content in my life, like, I'm happy and content now, but I mean, like, once I, like, adopt healthy habits and, like, once I, like, start caring about myself in all forms, I feel like I'll be like, this is what I've been waiting for. And I'm slowly getting there, definitely. It takes a lot of work, but right now I'm just vibing with it and I'm really happy. I know that this was like a whole lot of mumbo jumbo, so I thank you if you stayed this long, cause like what? But no, seriously, I'm feeling great, and I feel so happy to like share my story and like have platforms to share. So rock on. No, I don't know. I think it is almost 6 o'clock. So my girlfriend should be coming home soon. I'm just kidding. She'll be home in like 2 hours. But anyway, love you guys. See you guys soon.